All right, here we go. Let me make sure that's recording. Here we go.
Who's gonna watch this live?
It's nobody. No one even wants to, no one even listens to our podcast.
Hey, there's a few people in Europe, big guy. Okay.
All right, ready. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of AEW Dynamite with the AEW dudes. This is the June 10th episode. Ryan, how is it going?
It's going pretty good. How's it going with you?
It's all right. It's all right. It's late here. It's late. It's almost midnight. But anyways,
I know. We're struggling right now.
Before we jump into the show, just a quick reminder that Ryan does do his Tolly Talk, as he likes to call it. He does that on Sunday usually. He should do it Saturday, but sometimes he gets in front of himself. He trips over his own feet on his way to the microphone. But anyways, check that out. That gives you a little bit of news and rumors for the week of for all of AEW. So what did you think of the show first and foremost?
It was a decent show. Nothing really, crazy stood out, but I thought it was a decent show. What did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was solid. It wasn't amazing. Definitely wasn't bad in any way. It was just a solid, I would say like a B. What would you give for a grade?
If I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it a
B. B minus B.
Somewhere in the B, yeah, because I mean it was definitely better than a C show, especially with FTR's debut. So I think they're just trying to not overpack the shows necessarily, just because obviously they have the two live Fighter Fest, the live and then the taping coming up back to back. So I think they're just but I think
cruising. You think they're on cruise control?
Not so. I mean, but like
they're not on cruise control, Tolly. Let's get into the show. And speaking of FTR started off with actually, before we even talk about FTR, actually, I want to make I noticed this and you noticed it as well. Justin Roberts finally made his way back to AEW for announcing, the card. Obviously, he's the announcer. I missed him big time. I mean, I can't remember the woman's name. She's good, but to me, honestly, she sounds like every other female announcer. Yeah, she sounds like she's from WWE. Like that.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like Lillian. I feel like everybody. It's like Lillian Garcia's style that everybody, all those people bite.
Yeah, basically.
They all sound like Lillian Garcia, which it's cool. It's cool if you're Lillian Garcia, but yeah, I don't know. Like Justin Roberts, obviously, no one sounds like him. He is in a league of his own, which he's so great.
Awesome. He's the best right now.
Quick side note: I don't know if you saw, but he actually had like a kind of a thank you post on Instagram to AEW. I'm not sure what
I didn't see it.
I'm not sure what he's been going through, and he didn't really obviously elaborate, but he kind of just said, thank you to AEW for giving me the time. It's good to be back, basically, is what he said. So
interesting.
Yeah,
I wonder where he went.
Yeah, I mean, I know he has issues with anxiety, so I don't know if maybe just with everything that was going on, if he just needed to sit out a few months, but either way, it seems like I don't think he was necessarily taking a jab at WWE, but I think he was just basically pointing out how great of a company AEW is and how they, welcomed him back with open arms with so that's good.
For sure. So anyways, they started off with Butcher and the Blade versus FTR, also known as F the Revival or whatever you want to call them. They don't want to say what they talked about. They don't want to call themselves anything so far.
Like the t-shirt, F the rest, right?
Yes, F the rest. So that was a very, very, this match, I think, set the tone for the show, where it was a solid match. It was interesting.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think?
I really liked this match. Yeah. Right away, it just felt different than their previous matches. Meaning FTR, they already seem like they are having more fun, and I can just see it in their match. I think that they're happy to be where they are, and they're just going to put on phenomenal matches with all of the tag teams in that division. But yeah, it was a great match. I really like Butcher and Blade. Both those teams are kind of old school, but Butcher and Blade, I feel like, is just an old school tag team, and we haven't seen a lot of them, until recently, which I'm glad that we're seeing more of them. But yeah, I hope to see more and more of them on Dynamite because I think they're a good team. So
I really like that FTR comes out in the truck, that old school. I think it's an old truck. Yeah, that's different. Yeah. It's different, and they're just a tight tag team. I honestly they're not going to be like. They're not, to me. I mean, they're really solid. They wrestle really well. I don't think they're going to be
see them as like champions, right?
No, I totally see them as champions. I just don't. They're not going to be like top. They're not going to be a huge draw on the show. I don't think people are going to be like, oh, I'm buying the pay-per-view because of FTR.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
I just don't think. I mean, again, they're a really, really good tag team. I just don't think they're. I don't think they'll be as big as Matt and Nick. You know, what do you think? No. Do you think they will? They're just not as flashy. Like they're not as, and I think that's what's gonna. Even though they're different, they are an old school type tag team. They're just not as flashy and high. High tactics, high flying moves. They just don't.
That's true. Their style's more, old, like kind of rough style. So they're not what do you call them, quote unquote spot monkeys. Yeah. They're not going to be doing moonsaults and flips and
I don't think I think that's what they want. They don't want to be like that. And that makes them different. I like tag teams that try to be different. Yeah. I just think that in today's age of what people expect a wrestler to be, I think they want them to be more like Matt and Nick,
I would definitely agree with that. Yeah, the Young Bucks are more of the kind of hipper, cooler tag team. I was still shocked that they got booed at what was that pay-per-view they got booed at? Was it Revolution with their match? I think just people maybe loved Omega and Hangman so much, but I was just shocked they were getting booed out of the building that night. But anyway, I think this is interesting because both of these teams are kind of playing the face role. And I was wondering, I'm like, so it almost seems like there might be a heel turn here. And we would think maybe, I don't know. I mean, maybe not. Maybe they just have a face versus face match.
I think if any team goes heel, it's going to be FTR. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would definitely make more sense because they're definitely probably would be more natural heels. But I don't know, man. Yeah, that was a little bit weird out of left field when the Bucks got booed like that. So maybe, I don't know and that was one of the last times there was fans in the arena. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure once the fans are back, they'll miss the Young Bucks, so they'll be cheering them again. But
talk about the winner real quick of the FTR Butcher and Blade match.
Yes. So
it was FTR, right?
Yeah. Sorry. Yes. FTR ended up winning the match.
Yeah. And which is expected. They should win the match. They're brand new.
Yeah, for their debut.
Trying to build them up.
For their debut. I guess I didn't really know. You wouldn't want to see them fight like, two jobbers. But like I said, I like Butcher and Blade, so it kind of stinks that their first win had to be against them. But whatever. They're probably not going to be one of those tag teams that's going to be getting a lot of wins, I have a feeling. But yeah, and then what did you think of obviously the Bucks coming out? And this is why I thought there might possibly be a heel turn, just because I don't know, it just seems so cheesy. The whole, we came out to say thanks and we really appreciate, all that you're doing. And, I don't know.
It just sets them up. I mean, it sets them up to be the good guys. And then FTR to be like, screw you, we'll do it. We're going to do what we want. And that's probably what's going to happen. That's what I fully expect. And that's from interviews I've seen FTR doing in the past recently, that they've kind of said they want to be bad guys. So it goes hand in hand with that. They're probably going to be the bad guys on that.
Yeah, that definitely naturally would be the smart move. I think they would actually be a really good heel tag team. Obviously, I agree with you. They're probably not going to be at the top of the card, but they will be a solid mid card addition for sure.
Next was the women's match, and that was an amazing match. You had Penelope Ford You had Chris Statlander. What was you didn't
Yeah,
write
it was yeah. Sorry, it was a tag match. It was Chris Statlander and Sheeta versus Nyla Rose and Penelope Ford.
Dude,
So,
that match was I
yes.
I think that I want to say that for AEW anyway, that might have been my favorite women's match thus far. It was a spot fest. It was fun,
especially for Dynamite. Yeah,
it was really I really liked that match. I liked Penelope Ford had, I think it was Penelope Ford was she the one that had a big, she jumped from, I can't remember. I thought I wrote it down. I didn't write it down. What I think it was Ford had a big move.
Yeah, running from the I think it was Ford. Yeah, I think you were right. I think yeah.
But anyways, it was a really, really fun match. And
there were a couple botched spots, but overall, I agree with you. I mean, it was all four of these girls have been working together a lot recently, and I think their chemistry is obviously showing because they, I agree with you. This match was probably the best one that all four of these women have put on so far. If not in the entire division, the whole time it's been an AEW. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and Penelope Ford and was it Chris?
And Nyla Rose.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, it's So Nyla Rose and Penelope Ford
end up getting the win.
Yeah, which I'm okay with that. Yeah, it was a good match, and Sheeta's been obviously getting most of the wins, so I think it was good and it's been building up Penelope Ford. I think she is a great heel, and it sets her up for possibly a title match in the near future. So I think that's good for the division. So
yeah. So then Allie showed up wearing the Nightmare Family jacket.
Yeah, what do you think about this? This is interesting. So first of all, I haven't seen her really with Butcher and Blade recently. So I don't know if obviously they're trying to paint some kind of flirtation angle. Yeah, flirtation angle here with QT Marshall, but is she setting up for possibly Butcher and Blade like attacking the Nightmare Family, or is she trying to get QT and Dustin to turn on each other? It's I guess there's a whole bunch of different routes they could go.
I don't know. To be honest, it doesn't super interest me. That whole dynamic. I know you said you're a fan of the Butcher and Blade. I'm actually not so much.
You think they're boring?
It's weird. I really feel like the tag teams are either awesome or to me a little bit boring. There's not a lot of tag teams that I think are kind of in the middle of the road in terms of interest level. What about you? What did you think about it? You thought it was just interesting, or?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to their match this upcoming week against Omega. And are you aware? I actually was not aware of this until I heard the announcers say it, I believe last week, or a couple weeks ago. But the Nightmare Family, I believe, is undefeated in tag team this year.
Really?
Yeah. So since January, I don't think they've lost a tag team match.
What are they? 2-0?
So right in the quarantine, 2-0 quarantine. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think that should be a really good match. I like the Nightmare Family as a tag team. I think Dustin Rhodes is perfect to kind of pair with QT Marshall, because QT Marshall to me is not super interesting by himself, but when you pair him with Dustin and Brandy, that's a pretty, I like that pairing. And obviously they're probably not going to win the titles, but it should be a good match. Dustin puts on, quality performances. So, the tag team division is obviously probably the best it's been since the company's inception. But yeah, it's probably only going to get better from here. So
the show then cut to a little promo for Darby Allin, who was trying to hit a big, I don't know what any skate moves are called, but he was basically jumping from a platform with his skateboard in his hand, and he was trying to land on it, and he kept falling. He shouldn't fall. Yeah, 10 times, and then he ended up hitting it, and then he high-fived Tony Hawk, which is cool. Tony Hawk's the most popular. If you don't know who Tony Hawk is, he's the most popular skater ever in the history of skating. Video games, TV. I mean, not TVs, clothing, everything. He's done everything. So that was cool. I thought that was and I know I just listened to his Darby Allin's interview on AEW's official podcast, and he talked about Tony Hawk. So it didn't surprise me that he was on there, because I know they're quote unquote friends, or they at least know each other. But I thought that was a cool little get to have Tony Hawk on the show.
Those spots look pretty painful. What'd you think?
Man, I would have felt once. I mean, I know he's like, I think he might be 25 or so. Maybe he's 30. I think he's 25.
They were nasty bumps though, and he was like not wearing a shirt, and I was like, oh man, like
it's funny. He said he's never been hurt. He's skating. I think he's only broke like his wrist or something. He's never broke his ankle. I don't know, maybe he broke his ankle. I can't. He's only broken like one bone. He's broken more bones wrestling than skating.
He must have just learned how to fall really well at a young age or something.
Man, it looks so painful.
Did you notice that the one time he nailed it though? So all the times that he missed it, he was not wearing like, his get up, like his
jacket. And then when he was wearing
jacket, so clearly they like, made sure that he nailed it, when he was wearing that or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I agree with you. That was a cool bit, especially Tony Hawk is a big deal. So it's cool that AEW it seems like every week they're kind of finding, these huge stars to have cameos on the show, which is, it was fun. I haven't seen Tony Hawk in a few years, so it was kind of good to see him. And
So your notes, Tully, I have to commend you on your notes. I have no idea what you're talking about. Another great role model promo. She doesn't even need to wrestle. She's so good. Where's your pronoun, buddy?
That's the Jeopardy question. Who is this wrestler? I was talking about the Britt Baker promo where I
thought you were, but yeah,
she. Sorry, I meant to add more to that. I guess I did. I guess I forgot.
Oh my god!
But yeah, it
was a short little segment, but it was. I like
she's just, what I meant by she doesn't even need to wrestle is that her promos, her heel promos are so good that she seems like Bobby Heenan, where it's like she doesn't need to wrestle. She can just do a great heel promo and it's just as good, Yeah. So the fact that she's injured, I guarantee we probably won't even, obviously All Out, she'll be back at All Out, which is, not that far away. But these promos kind of help, the fact that she's not able to wrestle and you kind of forget about that. But yeah, I think that, the whole role model thing is great. She is just, she's a great talent, and she's not, unfortunately, I'm not trying to rip her here. I don't think she's necessarily great in the ring, but she's not bad. And I think she's only going to get better. And obviously her promos are great. So that's going to take her really far. So
to the next level. Next up, we have the 6-man tag team match between the Best Friends and Inner Circle. So basically the winner of that match ended up being Best Friends. Orange Cassidy got the pin, and which was kind of surprising. I was actually surprised they won, weren't you?
Yeah. It seems like the inner circle has taken a lot of losses recently. Obviously even Jericho's taken, a few big losses, not on Dynamite, but his last, losing the title and whatnot. Just seems like they've kind of been like even though they're supposed to be the badass stable, and they always end up beating people down gang style at the end of matches. Yeah. They take a lot of losses, and I'm like, man, how do you book them to lose so much when they're supposed to be such a dominant stable, especially Hager.
He should never lose. Basically, you're right.
Yeah, and I think they obviously are doing a good job of booking Hager to be this dominant, MMA guy, kind of like Lesnar. But even him, I don't know. He kind of lost clean to Moxley. I think they could have maybe booked that a little bit differently to make Hager look a little stronger. He did take his finisher on a chair, but I don't know.
One thing I was surprised by, and I know we spoke about this offline, is that Jericho came down later after the match was over with his bat Floyd. But even before all that, he basically did commentary for the first what that was, 3 or 4 segments, matches, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I don't know. And they didn't really say, at least if they did, I didn't hear it. I don't understand why he was there. I know he had done commentary recently during the quarantine with shorter when they were short announcers. But other than that, I don't understand why he was there. Did you catch why he was there?
I did not. I was listening, trying to catch the announcers to say, if he was there, for a special reason. I honestly think it's just because he was very popular among the fans, and AEW, they're really good about, listening to what fans like, obviously. So who knows? Maybe they just, they saw on social media that he was getting all these rave reviews. And so they just decided to give him another chance at it. I know that he showed some interest in when he eventually hangs up his boots in maybe doing commentary. So maybe they're just trying to get him some more practice so that eventually down the road, when he, does that role on a more consistent basis, he'll have more,
more
experience.
Yeah, you're probably right. But the other thing I wanted to mention too is his bat name being Floyd. I actually think they're going to end up changing that because it's so close to
George Floyd.
The guy that just got.
I thought that too. Yeah.
Right when they said it, I guess I don't pay attention enough to his bat's name. And then Jim Ross even said something about it. He was like, he made a joke, but about like an old wrestler. I didn't even know what he was talking about. He said, "Oh, it's like Lloyd Fleming's or something like that." I forget what he said. And like, I know he did that because he knows obviously what's going on in the world right now. And I really think they're going to call it something else. He'll either completely not use the bat anymore, or they're going to give it a completely different name, I would guess.
Yeah. I wonder if that was always like the name. It's supposed to be the name like that. I don't know. That just seems that's very weird that would be the name. Like of all names that it could be, that's just a very strong coincidence that, that it's named Floyd. But yeah, I agree with you that they probably should change it. I don't know. They're
going to change it. Anyway,
I don't know how many people are really upset about it, but yeah, they should probably change it. There's no reason to have it really. So,
right. The MJF interview was next, and he was out there with Billy Gunn. He ends up calling Billy Gunn, and so was Billy Gunn's sons.
Yeah,
and Wardlow. MJF ended up calling Billy Gunn's sons talentless. It was super funny. And then Billy Gunn grabs MJF, and MJF says, "Wardlow." And then Wardlow basically gets in front of him. So it seems like that's probably going to be like their next little feud. I don't expect Billy Gunn and his sons to go over on MJF and Wardlow. I would highly doubt it. But overall, it was a nice segment. It was fun.
Yeah, that might be an entertaining little feud between those individuals.
And then we had the Sammy Guevara versus Colt Cabana match. That was a very fun match. Very short for the most part. I mean, especially if you take out the little segment for the commercial. I mean, I believe they did show picture in picture. I ended up skipping it. I'll be honest with you. I watched it on DVR. I skipped the commercial part. I always skip the commercials, but it was a fun match to watch. Yeah. Sammy had a really cool move or big flip. I believe he jumped out of the ring, did a big flip onto Colt Cabana, and he ended up taking the 1-2-3 in there, so it was nice to see Sammy Guevara finally get a win. I know he's won some matches, but he needs to win more consistently to build him up. He's amazing. He's potentially a top, not right now he's not, but potentially he's going to be a top 3 wrestler for whichever company he ends up working his full career with.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. He's obviously special. Like there's not a whole lot of people in the business that are as good, as he is, but yeah, I thought this was good. What did you think about, what are your thoughts on them teasing, the whole Colt Cabana joining Dark Order?
Yeah, I thought that was it doesn't make sense to me. I don't see, because he's a joker. He's a jokey wrestler. And for him to join such a quote unquote serious group, it doesn't make sense to me. I think they're just throwing that in there to kind of throw you a curveball because they probably will get and recruit more members. And it's just a way for them to show you that they are doing it. But I don't think he'll join. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Do you think he's going to pull? Unless he's going to pull a swerve where he joins and then turns on him or something.
I don't think it would be a swerve because he's not big enough to make that interesting in terms of character wise. I could see them brainwashing him and him bringing a little bit of humor to the group. I know Brody Lee does bring some humor. It's humor that you would have to know about WWE. He throws a lot of Vince McMahon references in there. Yeah. But I think maybe to add some humor to the group, I highly doubt he's going to join. So next, why don't you talk to us next about the? Oh, so maybe you might have not seen it because I know you're having some DVR issues. Joey Janela, little promo. He was in the bar talking, and he ended up going in the car. And I always forget people's names. It's the
Sunny Kiss, right?
Sunny Kiss. Yeah, they ended up going somewhere. Did you remember what they were fully saying? I kind of glazed over that section a little bit.
Yeah, no, I know at the bar he was basically just sad that his career, it seems like his career's already behind him, and that he, and so then right. Sunny, I don't know, from what it seemed like, Sunny Kiss just pulled up and he got in the car, and they, it was the to be continued. So we have no idea like what they're doing, where they're going.
I liked it though. Overall, like the segment, it was, you don't see a lot, especially nowadays, especially with AEW is fairly new. You don't see a lot of segments like that where it's like really serious. It's in a bar. It's, and then nighttime driving where it's not corny. I liked it. It felt different. It felt new.
Yeah.
That's what I love about AEW is just how new and fresh the show feels compared to anything else WWE has done lately. I mean, it's a lot of it stuff.
They've gotten better with their production quality since with the with the no fans. I don't know if they since they've been forced to do so, but yeah, I agree. The segments have just been so much better and recently, very creative, and
it feels like they're taking parts of what WWE what they used to do. And WWE doesn't do stuff like that anymore, and like bringing that in, and then also bringing a fresher side to an next. But overall, it was a cool little segment. I enjoyed it. Then they had a Jon Moxley interview. You loved the dynamic between him and Taz. Looking forward to their match. What do you think about that? What happened in that interview?
Yeah, it was Moxley, obviously, just all his interviews are intense, and him and Taz kind of looked like they were almost going to go to blows. They were, face to face, and out of nowhere, Cage comes running behind a semi truck and just hits Moxley from behind, knocks him down, starts kicking and attacking him. I'm really looking forward to this match. I don't think Brian Cage is probably going to win, unfortunately, but I do think it's, I look forward to seeing this kind of dynamic because they obviously are just completely different. Brian Cage's style, he's just that big guy, but he's really athletic. And then you have Moxley, who's more of a brawler and almost like a hardcore wrestler. So I'm really looking forward to that match. And then Taz just throws a completely different dynamic into the whole thing. And I told you from the get-go that I really liked that pairing of him and Cage. I think it just makes Cage look even more of a badass, the fact that Taz is with him. Yeah.
Cool. That leads us into the main event where we had Cody versus Mark from the Private Party tag team. This was Mark Quinn. You have it's really difficult to find, especially in AEW, to find a match where Cody is in and it's boring or it sucks or it's not that good. He's the best thing ever in terms of he's like, and I think I said it last week or the week before. If there's an MVP for this company, he's either number one or number two. If it's not Jericho, it's him. If it's not him, it's Jericho. Without him, I don't think this company would be where they are today. He's from everything. I feel like even though they have what is it? 4 vice presidents or whatever they end up calling themselves, executive vice presidents. I really feel like he's above the other guys in a lot of way, even though they're sure. Like just the way they talk, they almost put him on a pedestal. I think almost everybody does. So I feel like he's such a great asset for the company. He has great matches. This match was really fun. Cody ended up going over. It didn't seem like he struggled as much as I actually thought Mark Quinn would give him more of a test. I was actually surprised he didn't. I mean, he did a little bit, but
I thought it made him look like a star, honestly. And obviously that's a testament to Cody, but I thought, considering he was quote unquote injured with the ankle injury and he was, supposed to be hobbled. Some of his moves, that 450 onto the ramp, I thought was awesome. I don't know, the fact that he's in a tag team and this was a solo match. I mean, I thought he did a pretty good job. I do agree with you though. I thought the match would be a little bit longer, and I did think that he would give him a little bit more of a fight. But Cody, when Cody's aggressive, man, he'll show that streak and he'll get nasty.
Yeah, it was an overall good match. It was nice to see Cody get the win, and Cody's actually going to take on Jack Hager at the pay-per-view, right? They said
yeah. So that's interesting because I'm assuming that Cody's probably going to continue to defend the title every week. But yeah, they, obviously this is a much bigger match, so that's why I think they put it on Fyter Fest. What do you think? Do you think? I'm assuming, right? Cody's probably going to go over in that match, but it'll probably be a pretty good match, right?
What is Hager's record going to be if he loses? Is he going to be 0-2? What is he, 1-2?
I think he's like 2-2 or something like. He's like 500.
It's funny because it doesn't make. But I can't imagine that Cody's going to lose so quick. I think that Cody will hold on to this for a while.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too. Like Hager will they'll have these matches probably where like Hager will test him, and it'll look, it'll look like for a half a second, like Hager's gonna, pull it off, and then Cody will somehow, pull out the win. But
I think if Cody wins, he's gonna escape with a win. Like he'll escape with a small package, or somebody in his team's, somebody in Jake Hager's team's gonna get involved, and they're gonna hit him by accident, and then Cody will get the win that way. I don't think Cody's gonna win clean, like real easily clean.
Yeah, that's actually not a bad booking decision, because at least that way it doesn't, make Hager look weak, because if he takes a clean loss again takes another clean loss to Cody, I think it's gonna start to, hurt his reputation as this monster,
Yeah. So, the only thing we actually forgot to mention was during the after the Sammy Guevara Colt Cabana match, Matt Hardy actually came out and did his thing again, where he went through his different personalities of Matt Hardy throughout the years. I like that. I like when he does that. It feels fresh. It's not the same delete thing he's been doing over the last few years off and on. So I wanted to mention that. And the reason I wanted to mention that is because I felt like, because we're going to talk about MVP of the show. I see who you're going to say, but let me talk about who I thought. I actually thought it was Sammy Guevara. He picked up a win. He is working his way into a big feud with a legend wrestler, Matt Hardy, and it's only going to propel him further into the future. I fully expect Sammy to come out on top of that feud. And again, that'll further cement and propel him into maybe not main event status, but at least TNT title contendership. Who was your MVP and why?
I picked Hager because he looked so dominant in the 6-man tag, and then also him coming out to close the show and challenge for the TNT title. I think they're obviously still trying to book him as a big deal. I don't know. I like what you're saying. Hopefully it's a good match at Fyter Fest. I like that all the titles are on the line, but yeah, I like your choice though. I should have thought of Sammy Guevara. That's a good. I like that pick. That's good.
Because you don't think, dude. You don't think. You don't think. You need to think. I tell you that.
I'm smart.
I tell you that. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we wrap the show up? We got merch on Pro Wrestling Tees. No, we don't.
Not that I can think of. Just I will have the AEW News and Rumors show out, as Greg said, hopefully this Saturday. If not, it'll definitely be out Sunday. But
if not, it'll definitely be Monday night.
It'll be Monday afternoon.
Oh my God. Anyways,
it was good talking to you, and I'm glad you enjoyed the show. And do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I just wanted to thank all three of you for listening, which two of those are me and Ryan. So really, whoever that other person listening to these shows, we want to thank you.
Right? Thank you so much.
Yeah. If you are listening, shoot us an email at aewdudes@gmail.com. We do the show once a week. We try to do it right after the end of the episode. If not,
We're getting better. We're getting better at it.
Exactly. If not, it falls into the next day. And then remember, we also, our other episode that comes out the week is Ryan talking about the news and rumors for AEW. So thanks for watching or listening, whichever you end up doing, because we're on YouTube or your any podcast feed that you're on. To search AEW Dudes. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Take care.
Okay. Let me end the broadcast. And